We ran a 30-day AI challenge, and the main thing we learned is that we have a data problem. Big shock. That's not the headline anybody wanted, but it's the honest one. My name is Mark Sirkin, and this is Playbook Broken, episode 4 of the Walk West 30-day challenge, the final episode. Quick recap for anyone joining late. 30 days, 4 cross-functional teams, spot, build, test, find friction, prototype something, put it in front of real people. The build up to the readout was a lot of hand-wringing and are we going to get this done? What's it going to look like? Are we going to embarrass ourselves? The challenge put us into 4 teams. Everybody was attacking slightly different problem spaces, definitely different prototypes. I'll keep this tight because the prototypes aren't actually the story here. Team 1, project workflow tool. The demo was strong. The catch was to actually run it, the agency needed to make a major SOP change. That's going to be a theme, so hang on to your hat. Team 2, project tracker with % complete revenue recognition. Solves a real manual pain. The catch only works if Asana data is consistent, and it isn't. Doesn't handle fixed fee value add cleanly. Retainers are an exception that breaks the model. Fair enough. Team 3, turning Google Drive into a teammate, a context engine. Notebook LM, Gemini projects, brand Bibles, client onboarding, compounding value as more gets fed in. The catch? You got to feed it. It's all about the data, right? And Team 4, my team, time tracker, client portal, chief of staff. Time tracker requires manual mapping. Portal is a custom UI on top of Asana data that has to be clean and useful. The chief of staff, however, works beautifully for the person who built it because she preset her own destinations. Works for everybody, actually. But here's the thing that I'm just reflecting back on and thinking about. And it's about patterns. Looking at the catches and then looking at them across all of these projects. Things that require SOP changes. The Asana data is inconsistent, or you got to feed something all the files. Manual mapping. It has to be clean to be useful. Look, AI is going to get better. The reasoning models are going to eventually be able to help clean us up, but right now that's just not true. So we had the 4 teams, 4 different problems or more, 1 binding constraint. The AI didn't remove the operational tax. It actually moved it. It moved it from doing the work manually to preparing the data so that AI can actually do the work. It's a little ironic, I think. I don't know. I think this should resonate with you if you've done any kind of work like this. And here's the uncomfortable part. It's not a failure. It's the actual finding. The 30 days didn't produce 4 AI tools. By the way, that was never the intent. It produced 4 diagnostic instruments that all points at the same thing. Data hygiene and process consistency is the rate limiter, not AI capability, not tool access, not team skill, but process. It makes me think of the maturity model. And this is what I actually think is happening, not just at Walk West, but at pretty much every organization on the planet. And I know maturity models are a tired format, depends on your perspective. Us consultant types like them. The thing that's different about this one is what's being adopted isn't software, it's operators. And hold that thought for a minute. Stage 1, individual AI literacy. Person learns to use the tools, whatever the tools are. They get faster at their own work. That's where most AI rollouts stop. It's also why most of them disappoint. Individual productivity gains don't compound across a team or an organization. You just have a bunch of people writing emails faster or doing analysis faster. Not bad, but not optimized. Stage 2, individual agentic workflows. That's that same person I just talked about, but they're not using AI as a tool anymore. They're building small agents that do work on their behalf. I talked about it already. The chief of staff, it isn't a chatbot. It's a system that waterfalls dates. It creates folders. It updates Asana tasks. She's an operator of a tiny little machine that does work for her. Bigger value than stage 1, but still locked inside her workflow. And each individual has to set them up separately. At stage 3, we get to departmental level agentic workflows. Agents cross people. A producer's system hands off to an editor's intake. Client portal pulls from one person's Asana into another person's view. The unit of work is no longer the individual, it's the team. And this is exactly where the readout broke down. Not because the work wasn't good, it was amazing, but because the moment 2 people's agents have to share a substrate, inconsistency becomes a tax. Files are named differently. Fields are filled out differently. Source of truth is in dispute. The sprint didn't fail at stage 3. It revealed that stage 3 is the goal and that the road to it is paved with the boring work that, frankly, nobody wants to do. At stage 4, let's call it AI native, although I don't love that term. Processes are designed around the agents, not the other way around. Data is structured at the point of entry. Source of truth is canonical. Love that word canonical, by the way. Some roles compress, others compound, new ones appear. That's a different company than the one that ran the sprint. That's a multi-year arc, and pretending otherwise is the fastest way to fail. Walk West right now, a handful of people pushing into stage 2. The sprint revealed that stage 3 is next, and we're working on it. And you can't skip stages. You can't buy your way from 1 to 4. Each stage requires the previous ones to be solid. When I'm saying this, I'm thinking out loud about the source of truth here and the question of it. During the readout, the conversation kept coming back to the same question, at least in my mind. Where does the truth live? Is it in HubSpot? Is it in Asana? Is it in Drive? Is it in all of those? None of those? That question doesn't have an AI answer. It has an operational answer. Somebody has to decide. Somebody has to enforce it. Somebody has to clean what's already there. Clean data is the story. That sentence got said in the room yesterday, and it deserves to be the headline of probably the whole sprint. We thought we were running an AI challenge. We were actually running a data and process audit, and the AI was the instrument that made the gaps visible enough that nobody could pretend anymore. And this is, I think, the part where most sprints pivot to say, okay, let's do a 6-month data cleanup initiative. I think that might be the wrong move, despite what I've just said. That's how transformation efforts die. You turn a finding into a program into a Gantt chart into what? Nothing? The right move, I think, is smaller. Pick one source of truth for one workflow. Make it clean. Make it canonical. Doesn't matter if it's HubSpot or Asana or something else. Build the agentic layer on top of that. Prove the loop with one example before you try to fix the whole agency or your whole company. Compounding works the same way the Team 3 demo described it. Feed it one thing well, then another, then another. Don't try to feed it everything at once. There's lots of reasons for that. Context window is one of those things. So is memory. Production over potential still. But the production we need now isn't more prototypes. It's the decisions that make the next round of prototypes actually compound across people instead of staying locked inside one person's workflow. Here's some honesty. I owe episode 2 a callback. I said something like, the ranking exercise was the discipline against vibes. The team mostly built on energy, not rank. I own that, and I'll own it again here. We didn't pick the top ranked ones. That's fair. Here's what I didn't see at the time, and it might not have mattered. Whichever ideas they picked, they would have absolutely hit the same wall. Clean data, consistent process, source of truth. The ranking would have changed the shape of the prototypes, but not the lesson. That's either a reason to feel better about the slip or a reason to feel worse about the framework. I'm honestly not sure which. 4 teams independently found the same wall, and the wall isn't AI. The wall is boring stuff, naming files, picking a system of record, agreeing on a process, and actually following it, for God's sake. AI didn't change the work. It just made it impossible to keep ignoring. The teams that win in the next decade aren't the ones who installed AI fastest. They're the ones who got to stage 3 before everyone else. And stage 3 runs on clean data and shared process, not on prompts. Thanks for listening to Playbook Broken. Hope you enjoyed the series.